G'day guys, and welcome to another episode of the Purebred Reds Adelaide United Fan TV. I'm your host Ellis Gelios, and we're here tonight to give you a quick preview of the round 2 encounter on Friday night between Adelaide United and the Newcastle Jets. Now, the biggest news going into this game is obviously to do with Adelaide United's lineup, and I'm sure most of you have heard it by now. Baba Diawara does return to the squad for match day, along with George Blackwood, who obviously is a fantastic addition in case Bubba doesn't get through similarly to a week ago, or even if he can't get through the entire 90 minutes, which I'm sure is plausible. George Blackwood is there to now utilise in that scenario, which is fantastic news for Adelaide United. However, it does unfortunately come at a bit of a cost because Mirko Boland, our star midfield recruit, has been ruled out. Now, something that is a little bit concerning, the fact that we're 2 weeks in and over the last 2 games, we have to deal without 2 of our most important foreign players. And we're not even in a real sort of congested period of fixturing, like when January and February comes. Now, that's a little bit concerning for me to lose 2 such big names over the first 2 weeks of the season. For Newcastle, they name an unchanged squad to bring to Adelaide. However, Ben Kantorowski, the veteran goalkeeper there, has been promoted. He returns, as well as one Patrick Langlois. So plenty of options for Newcastle to pick from. Now, just touching on the stats historically when it comes to a head-to-head record with Newcastle in the A-League. So we've had the better of them over the course of history, having beaten them 16 times. They've beaten us 13 times, and we've drawn on 12 different occasions. We've scored 55 goals against them, while they've scored 42 against us. Now, for me, when it comes to the Jets, I think quite obviously, and people may disagree, but for me, the danger man is Dimi Petrados. I think when they're in form, evidenced by last season, he's easily one of the best forwards in the league. However, even when they play poorly, like last week, he can pop up and score a fantastic goal. So for me, Dimi Petrados is really the one to look out for tomorrow night. And I also think, just quietly, look out for Matthew Redenton, who played for Wellington last season. He's a Kiwi. He's come to the Jets this season. Real quiet achiever, and was really one of their better players last week against the Phoenix. Now, just that is a bit of a segue into touching on recent form. So for us, obviously the 1-1 draw with Sydney at home. We've spoken about the fact that it probably wasn't our best performance. However, we had to make do without having a number 9 on the night, and we definitely deserved to win in many people's opinion. Obviously, Adam Lafondra popping up to secure a point, a vital one as well for Sydney, when it certainly wasn't a night for them to really boast much about. However, they were good enough to get a draw in Adelaide last week. For Newcastle, they had a really disappointing first game last week away to Wellington. I think they were the worst team over the first round, which is probably not what Newcastle fans want to hear. They'll certainly be looking for a reaction, as will we, I'm sure, after failing to secure all 3 points on a night where we really should have 7 days ago. That's pretty much all I've got for you. My prediction, I think we'll come away with a win. I'm going to say 2-0. So probably not a great start for Newcastle if things go that way for this season, but I certainly hope that my prediction serves to be correct. And that's all I've really got for you guys. Now, I just want to mention, as always, for any news that you might want to get in relation to Adelaide United, go on the AUFC News Facebook page. They do a fantastic job, get plenty of traction with all their posts, and they're very much first on the scene when it comes to any news that's broken out in regards to our club. I also just want to quickly say there's a huge FFA Cup preview on its way. Obviously, we play Sydney FC in Tuesday night's FFA Cup decider at Cooper Stadium. There's a massive two-part preview coming out where I speak to two very special guests. The first one being a huge United fan from down the years who gives his take on what he thinks will happen on the night. And I'm also going to be speaking to a foreign player in Adelaide who's playing locally now, but did play at a very high level when he was based in the UK. He is from England. He's going to talk about player psychology and how players prepare for really big games, particularly ones which are cup finals. So a huge amount to look forward to from the Purebred Reds. Lots of content out on its way as per usual, and I hope I see you all out there tomorrow night against the Jets at Cooper Stadium. Remember, we are by the Adelaide United merchandise stand where the Manton Street entrance is, straight after full time for fan cams. Make sure you spread the word. If you're going with a large group, or even if you're just going with one or two other people, or whether you're planning on meeting people at half time, whatever the case is, however you usually spend your night out at an Adelaide United home game experience, make sure you spread the word. Purebred Reds fan cams well and truly underway now. We had some fantastic ones after round one, but we want to slowly get more and more per every week that we have a home game. So all those things to bear in mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow night at the Newcastle game. Go the Reds. Thanks, guys.